good. My hair is super wet. I've just taken a shower. I don't really dry my hair like immediately. I don't like it. Yeah, I just want to unwind and chill a little bit. But yeah, my voice is like I had the flu, and it's been a week. Like, it's been a tough week. I think I'm still recovering. That's why it sounds a little bit raspy and husky, I think. But yeah, I try my best to speak clearly. So I've been studying all day, literally, for university, and now I think it's almost 7 p.m. So I want to just relax a little bit, just read. And I'm excited because I've been meaning to read this book. I couldn't find a hard copy, the one that is out there in bookshops if you go and see. But I submitted a request at the library, University Library Macquarie, and they had it. And it sent it to me, and I was super excited. But then I opened the box and I was disappointed because it was not the copy I wanted to read from. But anyway, they sent me these beautiful, a little bit disappointing but beautiful, smaller stories of greatest artists for kids. So we've got Picasso, I think it's visible. We've got Leonardo, we've got Edgar Degas, we've got Vincent van Gogh, and of course my favorite, Monet. So these are actually, so it's a non-fiction, kind of graphic non-fiction, about the stories of these great artists. But what makes it super unique is that you get to read the stories from the perspective of children that actually existed in the lives of these artists. I think one of them could be was the nephew or niece of one of the artists. They were like the children of their best friends. So it makes it quite unique. And everything that has to do with watercolor, I love it. Anything that has to do with acrylic, with oil painting, with watercolor, I'm down for it. So probably I'm going to read all of them right now, and then I'm going to update you if I'm enjoying it or not. I'm 100% sure I'm going to enjoy them. And yeah, but the one that I'm most excited about is Monet and Picasso one. Let's see. There's another book that I actually bought it today. It's called A Spell Shop. It's all over the YouTube, BookTube specifically. They say it's a cozy fantasy about this girl who decides to open a spell shop, and also she's selling jam, she's making jam, and decides to sell illegal spells as well, because she used to live in this library, but apparently the library was burned to the ground. I don't know why, I need to read. And she just flees to this island, which used to be her childhood home. And she decides, just to get by, just to make a living, to open a shop. So I don't think cozy fantasy is really my cup of tea, because I've read a little bit of Legends and Lattes. I didn't like it. But this one I'm actually quite curious, because Emmy reads, she's my favorite booktuber. She read it and she actually liked it. And I just wanted to, give it a go. And I think there is a second book came out, or it's coming. I think it came out, and it's a standalone, but I think it's in the same world as this. So that one I've heard much better reviews. I've read much better reviews about that one, but let's see. So I'm going to start this one and this one properly. First these ones. Let's see. All right. I've finished all of them. Now let's see. Leonardo's. The watercolor was nice, the illustrations were nice, but not my favorite. What really amazes me about Leonardo and so many artists in the Renaissance era, or even much earlier, is that there's no technology, at least not that advanced. Economy, did not boom in terms of a lot of aspects. It was not the golden era, let's say, but a lot of them, including Leonardo, they managed to be a lot of things. He was in sculpture, a painter, a scientist, a musician, and this is tragic for the modern human being. We are living in a world full of possibilities, opportunities, technology, everything that we want. We can't even focus like deeply on one thing. And that makes me sad. Like, the attention span we've got is so limited now due to social media, I don't know, anxiety. Like, we get distracted so easily, and we take life too seriously, I think, like myself included. And it's just, my mind is always wavering, you know. And when I look at this, it's like I feel sorry for myself and other people, like, because I'm very curious. I want to be a lot of things. When I was a child, so a lot of people, like, they ask you, what do you want to be when you grow up? So I'm going to be an explorer, an adventurer, because I don't want to be just one thing. I studied literature for my bachelor because I loved stories. I wanted to explore languages and teaching. Now I'm studying linguistics and education, TESOL, teaching English. I want to study art, I want to study music, I want to learn how to do photography. I want to be a lot of things, but money-wise, time-wise, you know, there are a lot of factors at play, but they won't let us do it. And I feel like in those times, a lot of artists, a lot of people, they had more time and they lived quite simpler life. That's what I think. Like, they did not immerse themselves, you know, in luxuries of life. And of course, there were a lot of people, but who did that. But these people, including Leonardo, they decided not to. And that makes me think, like, what can I do as a person, as an educator, as a teacher? Not only to educate myself, but also my students, how to you know, open doors to other possibilities, to how to have more adventures in areas that you like, how to explore different fields. Even though you're not, let's say, economically fortunate enough, you're not, you know, yeah. But yeah, it was a good read, but not my favorite. Picasso's one was really good. Like, I didn't know about Picasso himself and a lot of his paintings. I always admired some of his works that I do know, but I didn't know anything about this little girl called Sylvette. Apparently, she used to be like a neighbor of Picasso in France while he was, you know, dwelling there, and she used to be his platonic muse, so to speak, and he created so many amazing sculptures and paintings just because of her. I want to know more about these paintings, these sculptures, and also her. Some of the paintings here look really beautiful, like, as you can see. I know there is a show. It's called Genius. I think the first season used to be it's about Einstein. The second season is about Picasso, and I think Antonio Banderas, he stars in it. So I would love to watch it. Like, seriously, I want to know more about Picasso. But when it comes to a few artists, like Magritte, he's like my favorite. Dali, or even Van Gogh, I know at least enough to just satisfy my own, you know, interest or thirst. But when it comes to Picasso or a new artist that I'm going to get to in a second, I don't know much. So I'm very, very, very excited to watch that show and to maybe just take a look at his, if there is a diary, you know, a collection of letters of Picasso, I would love to go through it. I'm not really, you know, like a fan of Cubism, but I do want to, you know, learn more about it. I think my favorite was the Van Gogh one, and Story of Camille and the Sunflowers, because look at this, like the illustration is super beautiful. I think the most beautiful illustrations in these collections is for Van Gogh, and I knew about his friendship with this postman, in France, and the famous inn that he actually lived in for quite a while he was painting his most famous paintings, let's say, and all his portraits of his family. So I was familiar with those paintings and the setting and the story, but I didn't know about like his relationship with this boy, with the postman's son, Camille. Is that how I pronounce it right in French, Camille? And I never cared about sunflowers, to be truly honest. I grew up in the northern part of Iran, where everywhere is green, it's beautiful, and my dad has a garden, and I used to, watch him talking to his plants. I used to watch him grow a lot of flowers, and it was something that I was familiar with, and we had a lot of sunflowers. It's just I was never obsessed with them until I saw the paintings of sunflowers by Van Gogh. I'm not obsessed, but I am curious. I want to know about the place of sunflowers in literature, in art, in poetry. I want to know more about them, and definitely I want to go and see like the exhibitions, like the real exhibitions in Netherlands. So the illustration, the story, quite beautiful. But I didn't know that he started painting seriously when he was 27. I thought, he started it much earlier. I didn't know that. It was really interesting. I knew about his suicide. I knew about the tragic moments he had, about his famous paintings like Potato Eaters. That's one of my favorite. Starry Night, of course. The portrait of these family, super interesting. Like, because portraits usually, I'm going to be honest, quite boring to me, except for like the realistic ones, like the one with Gustave Courbet. Oh my god, I forgot the name. The one that the portrait looks like Johnny Depp. Oh my god, I forgot the name. How could I forget? That's one of my favorite paintings. Oh my god, I love that one. The desperate man, something like that. That one astonishes me. Like, it's super mysterious. I think after Magritte, the paintings I love, like it's that one, specifically that one. Like, it's brilliant, like spine tingling. I get goosebumps every time I look at that painting. And the point I wanted to make is like most portraits, they look quite boring for me. But Van Gogh's portraits, because of the colors that he used, the color palette, it's quite vibrant, and I love it. Like this one is beautiful, and I do want to buy the coloring book and start coloring them. This was my favorite. Monet, it was really interesting. Again, the illustration is quite beautiful, but I didn't know that he wanted to create the biggest, the most enormous water garden painting, like in his house, so that when you go there, when you stand in the middle of that room, you get to feel like you're actually in the pool, you're actually in that pond. And I want to go, actually, if I want to go to Paris, I want to go to his house. I want to stand on the bridge. I want to look at the water lilies. Like, I have the earrings of the water lilies. But yeah, this is also beautiful. And the story is told through the perspective of this girl called Julie. And apparently Julie's mother, she was also a well-known artist. And she was a good friend of Monet, and that's how they met. Beautiful. What I loved about Monet is apparently he was super, like, really disciplined. He used to wake up every day at 4 a.m. and start working. And if, for example, he was not satisfied with his works, he would just throw them all away or just, burn them. Quite a very persistent, consistent kind of guy. Very interesting. Apparently Picasso actually outlived them all. I think he passed away when he was 92, it says. I didn't know that. My least favorite was this one by Edgar Degas. I think because I didn't really know much about him, because I'm not really into, you know, ballet or I'm not really into sculptures that much, and he was really famous for his ballet paintings and his sculpture, and but it was interesting because I want to know about his paintings of horses, because I know he's really famous for, I saw a few of his works, like that's how I know him, not because of the ballerina or the ballet dancers. I'm not really into it, and I've never seen, maybe because I've never seen a ballet up close. I would love to try one, yes, once, maybe in Christmas time. Now this was the least favorite. Even the illustrations are not, you know, they're not as exciting as the others. But all in all, overall, I had a very nice time, and I would recommend this to everyone who loves, you know, art, beauty, aesthetics, just a cozy, you know, afternoon or evening, cuddling up with these books, and just, you know, try to enjoy the great moments that these children had with these greatest people, and later on greatest artists. Go for it. But yeah, probably the Van Gogh one was my favorite, and then Monet. But I'm really curious to watch the Picasso show, and to, you know, look up some more paintings of Degas. And Leonardo, I know there are a lot of documentary series about him. I am interested in Renaissance or Renaissance art, but not that passionate. So I'm more interested in surrealist work, and ironically enough, realistic work. Quite the opposite, but I love those. And Impressionism, yes, I like it more than Expressionism, to be truly honest, and especially Van Gogh and Monet. I want to just explore more those, and Japanese art style, which I'm gonna make a video about that one, like super interested. But Renaissance, not now, maybe later, but I would love to know about Leonardo. So if you know any movies, series, any documentary, any book, any good books that you think is going to help me enjoy more. I don't really like the ones that are, you know, they were like too theory heavy, let's say. I want something that I can enjoy, like maybe a collection of letters, something like, you know, more accessible. I get to learn a lot, but at the same time really enjoy about Leonardo. But yeah, that's my update about these. Now I'm gonna go make myself some tea and start the spell shop. Here we go. Hello there again. Right, I'm back with the Spell Shop book. So honestly, I haven't read a chunk of it. I cannot really focus right now. I'm juggling a lot of things. But so I'm 40 pages through, and I think I'm enjoying it so far. It's quite atmospheric. The writer puts a lot of effort into, you know, all of these teeny tiny details about the places, about the characters, about the seasons, colors. I really like it. And there is this talking plant. It's quite unique and interesting. I can't wait to see its development along with other characters. But right now, Kiela is back in the childhood home, and she's trying to renovate the place to make it feel like home again. She's trying to make jams and maybe, you know, thinking of how to get by in that village, which I think it's going to be the spell shop. But yeah, I promise I'm going to finish it this week, and then probably I'm going to talk about it in the next video, which is going to be a book review probably, or maybe my TBR for the end of August. I'm just trying to get back to my routine since the uni started. But overall, I think it's really cozy, and I love the fact that it has a lot of details about the atmosphere, about the places, about the seasons, about the nature. For example, I annotated this part. So it says, this is the part that they're actually sailing to the island. It says, they sailed silently. It was a gloriously beautiful day for a sail. Light breeze. Cheerful lemon light flashing underwater. Seagulls flew overhead, calling to one another. The many islands of the Crescent Islands Empire looked peaceful from the distance if you didn't look back to where smoke still stained the sky over the capital city. The island's grey, white and black cliffs were majestic, and the sweet little fishing villages looked quaint with their brightly painted houses, cheerful gardens and cobblestone streets. Yeah, there was this, I think, part about the bakery and how the smell of the freshly baked cinnamon roll, you know, kind of got to her. I love the way that, you know, you can see that the way the author is playing with the sense of smell, sight, you know, even a tactile kind of feeling. Overall, I'm enjoying it. Let's see how it goes. But yeah, I can't wait to talk about it more in my next video. So thanks for watching, and probably see you in the next videos.